Welcome to the Destiny Global Studio. It's a pleasure to have in-house a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Riley D.
Nice.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Take us back to when you start so that the viewers have a real insight into how you evolved to here.
Music's been part of my life from the year dot. So in our household, we have always had an upright piano like this. 8th birthday, I had my first guitar. So I pursued that from my mom. I keep asking my mom and my dad. My dad was a musician back in Jamaica.
So your dad bought you the guitar?
Well, my mom bought.
Okay.
Well, they both.
they both did.
Did. Okay. But I think it was my dad who showed me a few chords.
Okay.
Well, it was one toy I never broke.
Okay.
As a child. So every toy used to be destroyed. As a kid, I was mischievous, curious. How this worked? How did that work? But the guitar was always in one piece. Yeah.
So you grew from there, and then you launched out into going to school, or you started session, or seeing other people play.
Yeah, I think there was a. I always wanted to take it a step further.
Sure.
Went to this place, it must be about 4 or 5 miles away. So I had to catch 2 buses to get there. And I had to go and get a paper round.
Oh, I remember the paper round.
Yeah, I had to go get a paper round.
In the cold.
In the cold.
Yeah, 5:30 in the morning.
Fresh early in the morning, go out there before I go to school. So I had to do my part as well. So, which is a good thing, to be honest.
Yes. Discipline.
Discipline,
yes.
Yeah. I wanted to learn this, but I had to go and work for it. Yeah. And went to music school. I was there for about 3-4 years. It was tough, but I really enjoyed it because you didn't want to go to music school and then go back next week and not learn anything.
Yeah, and I can imagine the people at music school, when you see everyone there growing together, evolving together.
Growing. So if you see someone pulling ahead, why aren't I moving? Oh, because I didn't practice. And I didn't do the hours. So I had to practice every morning before I go to school and hours again after school.
So was it effortless? Your dad didn't have to look over you like these
No,
days?
he didn't. He didn't have to, because it was something that was, I mean, you watch Top of the Pops, you're watching music, you're watching commercials, there's music all everywhere. And so it's in my head, oh, I can play that. So I'll get the guitar and I'll be playing along with it. Maybe Grease, Lightning, whatever it might be. Anything.
Just as you touched on that, who is your favorite musician artist in terms of the guitar? Because I know the guitar is your main instrument.
George Benson, yes, Earl Klug. You got all the old jazz artists, which had never really been mentioned, But I also like Barry White music. I like, there's one thing I don't do, put myself in a box.
Okay.
I widen if that music is nice and I like it and there's a chord structure I like, I go for it. So, and it could be just one session, one guy, one main music.
So you cross over. Your genre is crossed over.
I do
jazz, R&B,
reggae. I play bass as well. Yeah. So, and I play a bit of keyboard, but I know my place.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my guitar, and I know bass, and that's it. Yeah.
So from what age you started taking it professionally?
Well, I was after music school. My teacher said, "Look, it's time you go out there and start really feeling what it does. What you've learned." I was 16 in the 70s, late 70s. So by that time, I was well equipped as a musician.
So you grew up in the same time as Bob Marley, and just starting to burst out.
Yeah.
As well.
When he passed away, I just left school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I joined the band, reggae band. And because my parents were really tight on me, I couldn't let my peers know that I was going to music school. So manuscripts, I had
Yeah.
music sheets, I had manuscripts, I was doing all this, and all my friends were going to sound systems.
Okay.
They were going to sound systems. I couldn't go to sound system. I was too busy studying because
Yes.
I had to be there, go back to school, music school, and show my efforts.
Yeah, well, because learning to read music is difficult. It is.
It's like reading a new language.
It is.
Yeah, it's a new language, and but you can see it like a map. You can actually see where the chord structures are. Oh, that's E
Yes.
minor. That's that. You know, and then you can use it as a map then to play a song out. And you also know structures as well around chord. I hope I'm not going too deep.
No,
here.
no, you're not. No, you're not. No.
Yeah, you can actually, you learn familiarities as well with certain chords. And so you can actually predict what the next chord's
Chord
going to
is.
be in a song. When you read music or study music, you get an overall thing. And so it's like you get the whole picture.
It's a composition.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get the whole picture of
Yes.
something. But then it's like when you get used to playing on stage.
Yeah.
A lot of people focus on what they're doing and they're performing. But when you get to another level, you can be playing and you're thinking, I've got to go and do some shopping. And you're still playing. Your mind's wandered off.
Yes.
And you can still, you're multitasking, you spread yourself out. This is why it's so beautiful to learn an instrument, because you can then do 4 or 5 things at the same time. I'm actually thinking
you can multitask.
Multitask very easily.
So reading music opens up
Your whole genre, your whole network. And this is why I can understand why they've closed down the music
school.
world. The music school is all shut down and people are just doing. But if you see a rapper does something, he's on the ball.
Yes.
But that's vocally. Musically, it's the same thing, but music. I worked for a theatre company for about 4 years as a session musician.
Yes.
And that's what stretched me more. It got me into more of a professional position. How to set up your gear,
Yes.
how to, the whole professional side of performing songs at last minute. Somebody will be singing and I've got to
Presentation
sort the chords,
as well.
got to sort the chords out.
Yeah.
How to dress,
Yes.
how to perform, how to look professional, how to be professional. So that was instilled into me even more. That's made me who I am now.
Yes.
I was only 16 and I was a little boy then at 16. Not like these kids now who were like 16 and they're up there. I was little. My bass guitar was bigger than me then. So,
Wow.
so I had a trouble with my shoulders. Young, little boy with a big guitar, so I had to go to the gym.
With a big dream.
With a big dream.
Yeah, with
Absolutely.
a big dream.
So I had to go to the gym. I thought, there's something wrong here. I've got to my shoulder's aching, So, first it was a reggae band, and then the band got better as we got progressed down the line. So, we did a lot of bands, a lot of gigs, and then I joined the jazz funk band because the reggae was a bit too restricted for me.
Yeah. Biopic.
Yeah, it was just too narrow for me.
Narrow,
It was too rigid for me. So I then joined a jazz funk band as a bass player, and then I was all into stuff then. So it was.
So you were playing bass with all different type of band because you cross over. You're playing jazz,
reggae, soul,
R&B,
tribute bands,
right?
Theatre companies in all kinds of genres. My parents always say, "Look, never put all your eggs in one basket. Education is one thing. Music is something, but just in case music doesn't work, you must have
something to fall back on.
Yeah, you got to have some skills. You got to, The kind of music is more classical jazz, instrumental, because I'm not a singer.
Yes.
But I make the music talk for you. And you will appreciate, if you're a listener of music, you will understand. When I wrote that song at that time, that's what I was.
Right.
That's who I am. England is only a small island. And if you hit 5% or 4% or 2%, you won't be heard of. But if you hit 1%, 2% in America, you could be very well off.
So
America's this big. Everything is guarded around the music industry right now, and can be a little corrupt as well.
let's be blunt as well. Don't you see that black people in America are more, not say more progressive, but they achieve more in terms of music. Not that they're better skill than the English black, but they seem to achieve more.
Yeah, because
Why do you think this is?
you got a lot of gatekeepers around the music industry that holds it into, keep all the good musicians out. So you've got to be in a clique, and I see it all through the music industry. Asian music, reggae music, even, the modern music. There is gatekeepers everywhere. I wasn't a producer before a musician. I was pushed into being a producer. And then I've got another person now to polish it for me. So the mastering side of it, because that's another art in itself.
Yes, it is. It is. And
so
I'm sure you've watched the Mobile Awards and things like that. You've heard of the Mobile Awards?
Yes.
And you have you ever aspired to maybe?
No, I've accomplished a lot. I felt I accomplished a lot in the music industry, but never really kind of got to that point. But where I wanted to be in a Mobile Award and to do what other people want me to do.
Right.
I've come to the point now where I want to do what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you feel complete.
I feel complete.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, now I am teaching people who what school's supposed to do.
Yes.
When you see a talent in someone, and like having a school music workshop, and all the instruments are there, and for the person, the individual, to come up and say, "Well, I want to be a guitarist," or "I want to be playing the piano," but then find out that they can't do it. You can spend a lot of money on something, and then realize that you're not good at it. But then you might go, boom, boom, oh, I can play this.
Yes.
At least you have the opportunity to go into it and.
So you give they have a choice of various different instruments.
It's good for someone like a kid who go into a sweetie shop and go, I want to do this, I want to do that. But to be able to find it, the bottom line is, it's the instrument that usually chooses you.
That's a good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because some people are just not cut out to become a guitarist, but they might be cut out to play the drums.
Maybe that's why I've given up on the guitar until you.
Hopefully not. Well, we'll have a good check first, and we'll see if.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
no, you're correct.
Yeah. But I like to big up a guy who I work now with, Webley Records, who teamed up with me, and hopefully, this album will
smash it.
I hope, hopefully, because it's who I am at the time.
Yes.
At this time.
I can tell that you've put a lot of years and a lot of time into this album, and it seems positive, and we can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. There's some of the songs are, believe it or not, are around 10 years old, and they've never come out. So you can imagine now, like wine, matured.
Yes.
Some of these music are like, you hopefully will touch a nerve.
In the next 5 years or so, how do you see yourself if God has blessed us with that time?
Well, I hope. Well, I do pray that my music will reach the hearts of these people, of everyone who hears it, and understand where the message is going. Because these music don't age. My music, they don't age. They leave an essence in your mind, and hopefully it makes you happy and pleased. Change that mood and make you happy all through the day.
So one would say it's very seductive, it's romantic.
Yeah, if you know Barry White, certain classical music, they don't age. Not like these chart music what you hear nowadays. They come in, you hear it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. This one, it leaves an essence.
I think it's the appropriate time for us to hear a little bit about your music. we've covered a lot of things, Brother Riley.
Yes, sir.
And after such a long time, it's, man.
Thank you for having me. And you caught me out of the blue, you know.
I know, but as I said, you're dependable. And you're somebody that I can, when you pick up the phone, that is something that will always be in the cortex of my brain. That you can call that person, you know. And I must say that I have a few friends like that close to me now. Only a few, but it's best to have a few than to say you have a lot, because a lot is not what matters. Yeah, I want to thank you for coming, and you know, I wish you all the best in the future, man. And long life.
Hey,
Long life
to everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Respect.